Following the events of John Cena's final match, fans are pointing out some things that we'll take a look at. We'll also see what's new for LA Knight, the world title scene, and more. Starting things off with this new situation of the fans putting Triple H on the hot seat for how John Cena's last match unfolded. There's been a lot of questionable creative-related decisions as of late. Questionable decisions such as LA Knight's recent usage, and a lot of questions there. A big crash-out storyline with Jey Uso that eventually led to nowhere, except for him to rejoin the tag team division with his brother. A split personality gimmick for Bayley that's confusing, and appears to be on and off again every other week. And a handful of other stories and narratives that just got dropped and forgotten about right in the middle of it. 2025 has been a great year overall for the quality of matches and talent on the roster, but it's been a very weak year in terms of intriguing storylines that progress in big ways, keep you on the edge of your seat, and actually have a satisfying payoff. There wasn't much of that throughout the entire year. There's long, never-ending feuds in place, but not really any great storylines that make you think and speculate. Which is strange because from 2022 to 2024, there was so much rich storylines there from top to bottom on the card, and everything was flowing amazingly. You go back a few years ago and there's so many great things that really created conversations and made you think. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss's relationship, Roman and the Bloodline, Retribution when they first arrived, the WWE Hacker, and more things like that. It was all things where as a community, as a fan, you can indulge in the story, start a conversation, and speculate so much about it. But in current day, you look at Raw, you look at SmackDown, and it's missing that element, that specific part of WWE television. There's still great matches, great talent, but where are those storylines that make you think and keep guessing from week to week, leaving you on a big cliffhanger? We thought Bayley's split personality trait would be one of those great stories, but that's not even worth talking about anymore because there's nothing there with that angle. Jay's journey and fallout with his brother and Roman seemed like another good candidate to be that type of story. But that one also flamed out for the time being. Even at the top of the card with the world title scenes, there's no super deep stories there. You got CM Punk versus The Vision. That's a story we've seen for nearly half of 2025. You've got Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, another feud that's been going on for nearly half a year. So there's not much to even discuss or speculate about the world titles, which is kind of crazy itself. You got little things going on right now, such as the Mystery Man, which is good. That's the type of stuff we're talking about. Angles that make you intrigued, that make you speculate and theorize about who's under the mask, what they want, or who they're working for. So it's the right concept and the right type of story. It just needs better progression. Same thing with Jacob Fatu's backstage attack. That's solid. It's a storyline that makes you guess, speculate, and think about motives. And that's what would be nice to see more of. The problem with Jacob's storyline is that there hasn't been a single ounce of progression ever since the attack first happened. When it came to speculation and theories with that specific story, we're in the same place today that we were in the night of the actual attack, because we've been given absolutely no progression to that story at all. It's just unfortunate because it feels like nothing of actual importance is happening on Raw and SmackDown from a deep storyline perspective. There's no huge storylines that are driving WWE television right now, the way that the Bloodline was doing a few years ago, for example. Nothing of that level is happening right now. That's what's missing. That's what we don't see enough of. There's going to be little flashes of great potential storylines, but they never end up actually going anywhere. They always end up getting scrapped in the middle of or leading towards a complete flat payoff. The recent War Games matches has been a topic of conversation as well amongst the fans, because both the men's and women's matches felt a bit flat from the storyline perspective. A few years ago, the men's War Game match featured the Bloodline going up against some top babyfaces, and it included this massive storytelling moment of Sami Zayn betraying his longtime friend Kevin Owens to prove himself to the Bloodline. It was masterful. It was amazing. It lifted the War Games match up and gave it deeper purpose with a great story touch and memorable moment. But you look at the 2025 War Games matches, and they had all the biggest names you could think of. But what it was missing was storytelling and purpose. Those two major things were not there, so it left fans feeling a bit flat about the War Games matches. John Cena's farewell tour in its entirety is another great example of this. Exciting idea, great concept, tons of great individual matches during the tour, but where were the great storylines of that tour? Every match outside of maybe the Cody Rhodes matches basically had no story. And a lot of fans were discussing that as well. Like, if they can't put together great stories for John Cena on his way out the door, What does that mean for the rest of the roster getting good stories? If John Cena's tour felt a bit off and anticlimactic there towards the end, what does that mean for AJ Styles' farewell in 2026? There's just a lot of these types of questions in the community right now, and everyone just wants to stay optimistic and hope for the best. The talent's there, the roster depth is there, but the deep, purposeful storytelling right now is not there at all. So hopefully heading into 2026, deep storylines are making a return to WWE because it would make things extremely more interesting. LA Knight recently spoke with Jimmy V3, and they got into the topic of dream matches and any specific opponent that LA Knight has his eyes on right now. LA Knight had this to say in response to the question, quote, "Everyone always asks me, what's a dream match? My dream match is whoever's the champion. That's my dream match because I want that championship, or whoever's going to put me in that kind of stratosphere after I beat them," end quote. So LA Knight is making it clear that the world title gold is the only thing on his mind right now. That's the ultimate goal of his over any other standard dream match at the moment. Will LA Knight ever win the title or not is the real question because things look a bit iffy at the moment. LA Knight soared into popularity in WWE during 2023, and since then, fans have been wondering if they'll ever pull the trigger on him being a world champion. But it's not happened so far. Lots of title matches, lots of close calls, but he never broke through and actually won the world title yet. And fans are really wondering if it'll ever happen at this point because LA Knight is going to be 44 in 2026. The fans feel like it's a now or never type of situation. But with Cody Rhodes having a WWE title, CM Punk having the world title, and Braun Breaker looking like he's going to be next in line to be world champion, it does make you wonder about where LA Knight would fit in there in 2026 for when it comes to world title plans. But fans are looking at 2026 as the final chance for them to do something with LA Knight. So we'll have to see how that goes. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.